What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terrence Bud Crawford. Get this, Crawford will take the Jermell Charlo fight next if Spence fight doesn't happen. Terrence Crawford already has his perfect plan B against undisputed 154-pound champion Jermell Charlo if the fight with Errol Spence doesn't come off at 147 for his next contest. Crawford, 38-0 with 29 knockouts, hopes the fight with the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC welterweight champion Spence can be next because he wants to finish his business at 147. Terrence's goal is to become a two-division undisputed champion before moving up to 154 in a quest to be a three-division world four-belt champion. Spence, which is 28-0 with 22 KOs, could be a problem if he makes the negotiations difficult for Crawford because he's seemingly been trying to get the Texas native to fight him forever. If Spence drags his heels and don't want it for whatever reason, Crawford won't hesitate to move up to 154 to snatch the four belts from Jermell Charlo, which is 35-1-1-19. Unfortunately, what Crawford could discover is Jermell is less willing to fight him than Spence, which puts him in a challenging position where he may wind up getting neither of them. As the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together, meaning that if Spence doesn't want that fight with Crawford, it shouldn't be a surprise if Charlo doesn't want that smoke either. Let me counterpunch. I couldn't agree more. If the Spence Crawford fight doesn't happen, Errol Spence's stock is going to plummet. His stock is going to plummet because he needs Terrence Crawford more than Terrence Crawford needs him. And Terrence Crawford will show him that. And the next step, the plan B, would be to go to 154. Well, if they both don't want the fight, which is not necessarily unheard of because they're friends. They got the same bullshit coach, which is Derek James. And they all talk as though they're so concerned about business at the end of the day when it comes to Crawford. Like, oh, well, Crawford don't sell, or we need this from Crawford, we need that from Crawford. But when you're fighting Sean Porter on your side of the street, it was an easy way to get a fight made. And then we already know that Sean Porter was considered the easy route for Errol Spence. But looking at that fight, that wasn't an easy route for him because they fought tooth and nail and went back and forth until Errol dropped him in the 11th, differentiating him from being the winner and the loser. Okay. And I think that Jermell, they may try the blackball method, like, well, hey, I won't fight him if you won't fight him. But I mean, it would look bad if Jermell did take the fight and Errol Spence didn't. So I would think the smarter thing to do between the two would be none of them fight Terrence Crawford and leave Terrence Crawford in the dust and still remain talking shit over social media. That's my problem with boxers today, because it shouldn't be any reason why Errol Spence, that claims strap season, shouldn't want to fight Terrence Crawford. Okay? And that's the next fight that should happen. Regardless of what we see Errol Spence do, what we see him beating up heavyweights and doing this and that and the other, it's like, okay, show us a fight that we want to see. Don't show us a sparring session. Don't show us 10 seconds of bullshit that you're welling on some guy that's probably letting you well on him. You're on the ropes, the rope-a-dope bullshit. Let us see the good fights. But no, the sad thing is, if he doesn't get Errol Spence, it's almost 2 for 1, because more than likely he won't get Jermell either. See, the writing's on the wall. If you guys pay close attention to what's going on, you can see Jermell is really talking for Jermell, because Jermell is, well, I'm willing to come down 6 pounds. Why would you want to come down, being the WBC middleweight champion, to fight somebody that your brother's supposed to fight? Or your homeboy to your brother, or your stablemate to your brother, same thing. Why are you guys bullshitting? It sounds like a smoke screen to me, and I like the Charlos, but it's like them with their preconceived bravado, and they say that he's too small, he's too this, he's too that, but like nobody wants to fight this guy, and it doesn't make sense for one guy that's in a totally different weight class want to all of a sudden come down to fight this guy. Like, that makes no sense at all to me. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of plan B with Jermell Charlo if the Errol Spence fight falls through. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!